game, you strap more shotguns together and double people in the air. So how do you, if that electricity power is running out of power rates, how is it preventing it?
I mean, it is a statement which you have to choose which side outweighs the other. But that said, there are lots of other methods, right? Like, I mean, everything from forums to emailing them to, I mean, as much as I hate to say it, it's pretty easy to scream pretty loud on the internet. And so if you want to let them know, you'd be shocked. All of us vanity read our own forums, right? Like any game I've ever worked on, I have certainly read what the community is saying about it. And every designer is neurotic enough to go through and look at each one. And I know many designers who have other people whose job is to restrain them on the day after launch day from responding to anything in the forums, right? And so these things really are looked at, and not only by us, but also by other consumers, right? And so I would say, I mean, if it's an experience that you want, go buy it. But at the same time, do what you can to express what it is you do and don't want about that experience. You may not think it matters, but in aggregate it may matter, right? Mm-hmm. You may affect it 0.0001%, right? But everybody in this room and everybody out there who feels this way about games, if we all really just take that little bit of extra time to do these things and to make that voice heard, you will see that shift, mm-hmm. I promise you. So that's my advice. Yeah, for all of you guys who showed up in those shirts, like, again. Everyone stand if you're wearing shirts. All right, where do you get it? And those shirts have gone out to everybody who helped contribute when Allison needed the most. So thank you guys very, very, very much. We were in dire straits, and I mean, it's because you guys that she's over building the new 40K MMO and making it awesome.
With her cybernetic arm. Okay, my question needs a bit more explanation. SOPA and PIPA are still pretty big issues at the moment because they haven't quite been either killed or passed in any way. They're still in complete, just limbo. Yeah. My question is actually more concerning the fact that a lot of entertainment companies have been signed onto the bill, and now we're backing off. How do you think these bills would actually affect these copyright industry companies who will mostly lose a lot of these websites and content producers online who will be forced to self-censorship because of these bills? You know, like Total Biscuit, giving like indie publishers and developers like free videos for exposure.
So we're actually going to touch on that in about 20 days. That's too bad, because I happen to see that we have Stuttering Craig from the awesome Screw Attack. If you were in that counter operating it, I would have you come talk about what it's going to do to content producers. All right, yeah, come back.
Hello. Yeah, so I'm fortunate enough to be able to make videos and fun stuff for you guys for a living. I feel extremely fortunate to be able to do this. So the SOPA thing is we've had so many conversations about this in our office. And it's funny because if you really think about it, SOPA, ESA, Nintendo, EA, Sony, they're like, oh, we support the SOPA thing. No, we don't because people backlash. No, we don't anymore. I'm sorry, I'm just kidding. But they're still involved in the ESA, right? Okay? We then, in turn, buy games from Nintendo and Sony and EA and these companies that are directly a part of the ESA, right? So we then support these game companies that are a part of the ESA, which are a part of SOPA, that support SOPA. So who is really supporting SOPA? We are. If you really think about it, it's a trickle-down effect, right? That's not what I'm up to. Because I'm going to talk about that later on. We're going to announce something about that. How it's going to affect us, it's scary because I think you can see a lot of folks, like I don't think like a K-Ash, which plan, right? They're a phenomenal series. I don't think they'd be affected so much because they don't use a whole lot of copyrighted materials. It's more like parody. They don't use a whole lot of gameplay footage. But like our stuff where we use like video game balls and top 10s and content like that, it's such a slippery slope to where not just, we use something from one of your games or whatever, and I mean, even if you didn't care, we can still get tagged, so.
I mean, especially for something like Angry Video Game Nerds who may be slamming these particular things, there are easy provisions to shut off all ways to monetize you, right? So even if it's not within the SOPA law, right, SOPA has this huge due process hole in it, where I accuse you of using our material unfairly, and everybody who allows you to collect money from them has to stop giving you money within 24 hours, or otherwise is part of the suit. So they're going to do that. And then you have to survive without money, however long it is for us to resolve this. Which ends.
The funny thing is about the whole SOPA thing, it's not online piracy. It doesn't stop piracy at all. They still will go out and pirate all that stuff. So basically, it's only attacking people like Stuttering Craig and all people.
Well, it's acting way more than me, trust me. And we're not gonna stop. And we did like a little spoof about this a few weeks ago when the whole SOPA thing was going down. And the way we see it, if this thing goes down, we're pirates, man. We're gonna be the pirates on the internet. At the end of the day, we're gonna do this because we love it. And it's weird because we have this relationship, and I don't want to take up any more of y'all's time. But it's weird because we work with a lot of partners as well. One of them being Game Trailers, who's owned by Viacom. And Viacom is also a big supporter of SOPA, right? So if SOPA passes, what happens to a lot of their entities? What happens to Game Trailers? They're not going to go anywhere. They're not going to go anywhere. I mean, that's a viable income for them, So what happens to Screw Attack content on Game Trailers? I don't know, So there's so many question marks that I don't think anybody knows this whole SOPA thing. And it's your panel, so please, by all means, take it back. But you hear a lot of people, they say, write your congressman. Get in touch with people. And I may get flamed for saying this, but I don't think that works.
Can I actually
Yes.
jump in? Because for all of you, I clearly have a different perspective. But Ron Wyden, the guy who heroically put an extended stop on the Protect IP bill, has offered an alternative, a House alternative to SOPA, which is, it's not great, it's not perfect, but it's way closer. It's not going to endanger you guys, it's not going to endanger us, and so to me, write your congressman and encourage them, give them an out, right? Because a lot of your congressmen are committed, due to the big dollars, to do something on this issue. But if they have a compromise where they can get our votes and the big dollars, they may just take it.
Or the face technique.
What?
Or the face technique.
That is an interesting metaphor. But honestly, look up, I'm blanking on the name right now, but Open.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's what it's called, right? There's a new House resolution called Open. If you write your congressman and say, I don't like SOPA, I will not vote for you again, I will not contribute to your campaign if you support SOPA, but have you considered Open as an alternative? You may give them a space that will save them face and allow them to get everything they want. And politicians are really, really into getting everything. But here, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. No, go on.
I'm the one interrupting the panel. No, it's just, you know, obviously we do have a different opinion on this, and I think that there are a lot of congressmen who are going to do what they're going to do because they want to do it, or they just want to pass the bill because it's taking up their time. They don't give a crap, you know. If you watch the hearings, it was very much like that, and it was kind of disturbing to hear people essentially talk about your lifeblood. You know, that everybody in here has, you know, has some stake or will be affected by this in some way, and these people are just like, look, Christmas break is coming up. Let's just pass this thing, you know, whatever. And the amount of times they said nerds, sounds amazing.
So there's a little bit of spoiler.
No, I'm going to sit down and keep recording you guys.
So there's a little bit of spoiler for the next episode, but I mean, one of the opening comments was a fellow standing up and saying, "I'm not a geek, so I really don't know anything about the technical aspects of this. This is one of our representatives who is deciding your fee." Immediately thereafter, he dismisses as overly worrisome all the expert opinions that have been submitted to them about the damage this is going to do to the internet and to internet innovation in the United States, right? And there is a fundamental flaw in the way that our democracy runs when your representatives are not interested enough in being informed on these issues that very much affect us. They are no longer representing us. When literally everyone from the Cato Institute to Ron Paul, that's two ridiculous sides of the spectrum, all agree that this is a bill that's not going to be productive for America. When anybody who looks into it has come to the same conclusion, that is the least that we can ask. The whole point of having representative democracy is so that way we can live our lives and get people whose entire job it is to spend their lives examining these things and knowing these things inside and out, and they're not doing it. And so if there's a call to arms here, it is that. We do still have a voice here, we do still have a vote, and making that known to the congressman, making it known to them that the level of disrespect, the level to which they just dismissed this bill out of hand, and the need to be informed about it. The fact that only one witness against this bill was allowed in the hearings, and that's only because Google put all their might behind it, is ridiculous. And we have to use all the tools at our disposal to make that evident, right? Because this really is, as you said, our lifeblood. This is our existence.
Before I sit down, just real quick, I would love to hear, using the kind of the drip down that I was talking about with us buying games for companies, ESA and SOPA. I'd love to hear your opinion on this. I wouldn't want to do anything that's going to hurt the industry, right? And we were talking about this in the office. We said, well, what if we just call for a strike? And you hear about that all the time. Like a gamer strike, a gamer blackout, where you say we're not going to buy games, but that would put people out of jobs by doing that. What if we were to call for a strike of the companies who are involved, who say they don't support SOPA, but they are still involved with the ESA? E3 is the ESA's moneymaker, right? So why not call for those companies who don't support SOPA to pull out of E3?